Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was amazed at coming across him this last week because
Yeah.
I had a young boy who came and sat in my office,
Mm.
my son's friend in his
Yeah.
matric year, and
Yeah.
he's now becoming a financial planner after doing one day in my office as a standard grade 12 boy,
Yeah.
doing career day, and he's now done he wants to be a financial planner. So how amazing.
Wow. Hi, this is Kevin Ye. I'm the country chair of MDRT South Africa. Join me as I interview 40 financial advisors who are also MDRT members in South Africa to learn about their life story, their experience, and their tips on personal finance. So today I have the privilege of interviewing TRACEY DEVENPORT from TRACEY DEVENPORT Financial. She is business owner, she's financial advisor, she's been in the industry for many years. And I'm so glad to have TRACEY to join us on this program. So TRACEY, how are you today?
Very well, thanks, Kevin, and wonderful to chat to you and to be part of this MDRT process. What a privilege.
Well, excellent. TRACEY, I remember the first time I saw you to get to know you was about 5 years ago. I think probably was the first time I attended the MDRT annual meeting in Vancouver. I think that you spoke at that time, MDRT Speaks. If not, then otherwise will be Los Angeles. So it's amazing to get to know you through MDRT. Can you first tell us about where did you grow up? What did you study?
Kevin, thank you for asking that question. I'm glad we met in Vancouver. MDRT has been a wonderful journey in my life and had a huge effort and influence on my life. Kevin, so I was a very normal little girl who grew up in a home with two parents who were teachers.
Okay.
So there was no planning in the area, and I became a teacher.
Right.
And when I'd completed my teaching, I knew it wasn't enough for me. The income was extremely low and I needed more. So I went back to university while I was teaching and I became a lawyer. While I was learning to be a lawyer, I met my husband, John, who was an accountant and who was an agent of Liberty Life.
Okay.
We got married in one of the years when I was studying, and we were young, we were poor, we had no assets, and I became his secretary and worked in his office and started dealing with clients, and I just found my way. Interacting with selling insurance from John's office was what clicked with me, and I became a broker, then became an agent of Liberty for 7 years, was right at the top of the ladder then, and went then back to becoming a broker.
Okay, so just going back, were you born and bred in Joburg?
Yes, I'm a Joburg girl through and through.
I see.
Forever.
Okay, all right. You mentioned that you first were teachers. So there's something in common in terms of like you mentioned your parents were teachers, and my parents were also teachers. So I actually was maybe the odd one out in the family to actually want to venture into business. When did you start to become a broker or financial advisor?
So right in the very beginning, when John was an agent, I immediately went into broking. But in those days, you could not have a broker and an agent in one family.
Right.
And consequently, I had to then choose to be an agent of Liberty, which I did do extremely successfully for 7 years. My comment further is that I've done top of the table consecutively for about 27 years running. So the volume of business has been really enormous for all of the years.
Did you join MDRT right from the beginning that helped you to grow as an agent?
So right in the very beginning, when I was an agent of Liberty, they were mentioning MDRT, and at their meetings, they would play the MDRT tapes, which they were in those days, and they were incredibly sort of inspiring. I really enjoyed them, and it encouraged me to want to actually attend a meeting. So with that, I did join MDRT, and in my very first year, did very well. But in the second year, I desperately wanted to hit top of the table. So I worked like absolute dog the entire year. And you'll laugh at me. I sold 800 policies in those days. And maybe I was 27 years old at the time. And with my 800 policies at the end of November, I made top of the table. And I was so impressed with myself. It was incredible. The following year, I went to the top of the table annual meeting, and I sat with a man at a breakfast session, and he had made TOT in the February with 8 policies. And I nearly died. I nearly died. How is it possible to make TOT with 8 policies by the February when I'd worked with 10 clients in a day, and an experience like that absolutely grows you. And I just said, you've got to be kidding, I'm doing the wrong stuff. So amazing. Attending a TOT or a $1 Million Roundtable meeting is a life-changing event.
So after having that conversation and understanding the other person different approach, did that make you change your target market or how you conduct your insurance sales business?
Very much so, because I think in the early days, you want to get a deal. So your sales were very low and you didn't do an enormously careful analysis of everything and come up with the right numbers. You would get a deal of some sort of size. But eventually what you do is you do the job properly. And when you do the job, the numbers are huge. And you can do enormous numbers by doing the perfect correct thing for the client. And today, I am an investment broker. I do not focus at all on healthcare. I do not focus on short-term. I don't have a short-term practice. I am an old person's broker. Everything old and gray is coming my way. And I've absolutely mastered that retirement model. I love it. They're a neglected group of people. They're old. The world doesn't have time for them. And they love the beautiful girls in my office that are calm, careful, and speedy and helpful. And so we have mastered the retiring market. And that is mine today.
Okay, so it's very interesting because you started your career with Liberty, and when did you start your own business to what it is today?
So in about 1998, I chose to leave being an agent and become a full-fledged broker again. Just wanted the diversity of going to any investment house, having share portfolios, and giving better quality of service for the clients. So that was in 1998. So I've been entirely alone since 98, but I have a huge practice. I'm managing about 5 billion Rand right now in terms of my investment practice. And I'm a magnet. It's just the money comes my way all the time. I'm extremely careful with the money. In terms of my clientele, it's been a wonderful journey.
Your journey, you developed into a very successful practice today. So initially, were you just by yourself, and then one by one you recruit one person, the next person to both to your team today?
So I've always had and was always known for saying I don't do non-income producing work. And saying that NIP work, non-income producing work. So I truly believe in delegating absolutely everything, even my knowledge and my skill, so that if I'm not there, my staff can step into my shoes and my clients happily deal with my staff. And if you really pay staff well and you treat them well and you treat your clients well and you have a happy business and your staff are really well paid, they don't generally leave you. I don't have staff leaving me at all, and I pay really good salaries. So the result is you're delegating absolutely everything. Your clients love deal with you. But the truth is, if they can't deal with me, on the whole, they can deal with staff who are really nice, really competent, efficient, fast, careful. And that's what I've done. Focused on getting the client to say yes and mastering this. And in the very beginning, I would drive to see clients. 15 years ago, I said, I'm exhausted. I'm crashing my car every 5 minutes. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm making a beautiful office place and I'm making clients come to me. And with that expectation, they come to you. And you can operate beautifully from your own environment.
So today, how many staff do you have?
So I have drivers, I have tea girls, and I have at least 10 or 12 administrative people that help me. We have a full tax practice because I did law. I can do a bit of legal work, although I delegate and give to outsourced people estates. But we can do the bills, we can do the legal work. We're fully fledged on tax and accounting. And I keep up to date in all those areas because when you're doing financial planning for wealthy people, you need to know everything related to estates, to trusts, to tax, everything in order to do a really good job.
Where do you find all the time to update yourself, attending the courses, webinars, and that?
All the time. Absolutely all the time. If any webinars come out on tax, I'm in. If any webinars come out on estate duty, I'm in. I want to know. I find it intriguing. I find it fun. I listen to the investment updates all the time, the economic updates all the time. I enjoy it because it's fun. It's enjoyable. This industry is constantly changing, and that's what makes it really exciting.
Wow. Do you have paraplanner in your practice?
I have staff that have got the RE exams, but they're not really working as a paraplanner. My son is in his LLB at the moment, and he will be joining me in my practice. So I definitely have really good administrative staff who are like paraplanners, and we are meticulous in the work that we do. So you can call them paraplanners, but there is only one other person who's done the RE exams. And my son will come in as another broker, and thereafter my daughter will come in as another broker.
As you are an independent advisor, do you support many different platforms?
I definitely support many platforms, and I support them in their areas of excellence. So I analyze everything, and I do the best for the client. That is my overarching rule, is the best for the client. And if I believe that product X with company Y is the right thing to do, that is what I will do. And if the commission is negligible or nothing, I don't mind, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to do the best for the client. And I never look for a client. I haven't looked for a client since 1991. I get constant referrals all the time. And
that's amazing.
Maybe an occasion where you no business, and not that an occasion when I get no business, but you do have times when you get no business. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. I have a superb practice where people get value, and so they refer anybody and everybody. Apologies for my dogs.
No problem. You have many.
I do.
Throughout your career, what has been that one client story that stuck with you over the years?
I think they're more than likely many. I think they are the stories where you are amazed that you got to pay out for a client in the circumstances. And I think death claim like that is a cement to keep you in the industry. Let me give you an example. So a particular client who came to me to do an RA, And in my meeting with him, I realized he had 2 little children in a second marriage, and he had no life cover whatsoever.
Okay.
And I said to him, to his wife who was sitting next to him, I said to her, whatever you do, don't kill your husband. There's nothing in it here. We're doing an RA, which is not the right thing to do. He needs life cover, and he didn't want to do it. And we had a big laugh over it, and he turned around and he said, you know what, Trace, let me spend all the money I was going to spend on the RA on the life cover. And I'll do the RA at another time. So that was fine. That was on the Wednesday. He didn't do his medicals until Wednesday, 3 weeks later. 2 weeks later, he did his medicals on the Wednesday, and on the Sunday, played a game of tennis, climbed on his bed and died. He had not paid 1 premium on his plan.
Wow.
And his policy had not been accepted.
Yeah.
And based on the wording that had been done with the insurance company, he actually was covered. And his wife got paid out that money. It's a particular company and their wording. Everything was done in good faith.
Yeah.
And his family was paid out on that plan. It was early days in my career. And for me, it was a real cement on how valuable the industry is.
Yeah, no, that really shows the value of life insurance and the promise and being made good. That's beautiful story.
And it's so necessary, Kevin. I'm in the industry for years and years and years. I am so grateful every time at the volumes of cover we have when people go away. I am so pleased that I have the plan in place. And they're not always easy to sell, but they are so, so valuable to the people left behind.
Now, Tracy, let's turn to your involvement with MDRT. When did you join MDRT?
About 27 years ago, in the first year when I became top of the table.
So was it like 1994, thereabouts?
I think I was Liberty's #1 in about 1993. So it would have been that year, 92 or 93.
I see.
That I joined for the first time. I've been a member ever since. And it's a privilege to be part of it. This year I will be attending Top of the Table, but virtually. I won't be going through. But I do love to go to Top of the Table. The MDRT experience feeds you and cements in you belief in our industry. And it's inspiring, encouraging, and it's really valuable.
This is the first time I'm going to attend the Top of the Table this year, Top of the Table meeting. Previously, I just saw it's on the calendar. I never bothered to attend. But this year, I'm going to attend for the first time virtually. And I can't wait. I think it's next week we are going to attend. Have you been attending the annual meeting every year?
No, not every year. I would usually do a year, skip a year, do a year. But I didn't always attend the annual meeting. And the reason was because Top of the Table is so much better for me. Quality so much higher. The level of intelligence, it's for people in our league, people who are successful and just want to tweak that practice and make it even more successful. So I've loved Top of the Table as my way to go.
And have you been involved with the MDRT in terms of volunteering and that?
I've sat on the committee for Top of the Table before, and loved the 2 years where I sat on that committee. I have worked in South Africa in the position on the council that you're on now.
Okay, so you were the country chair. Was it known as country chair then?
It's years and years ago, but I think it was country chair then. And I don't think I was doing half as good a job as you. And then I sat on the program committee for 2 years, or for 1 year, for MDRT. I have loved sitting on every board that's done with $1 Million Round Table. You learn at every meeting with hugely competent people. So I found it very, very valuable.
And right now, are you still involved at MDRT head office or any way or form?
No, not at the moment. They have asked me at times, but in the last few years, I haven't chosen to do it. My children are almost leaving my home and are still, you want to be there for them. You would know, work hard, you don't have a lot of time. And in your spare time, you really want to put as much as you can into your children so that they become and are valuable and are confident and can be valuable people in the future.
I must also reflect on that. So what does MDRT mean to you?
It was the place that grew me from being just a little financial advisor into a person of excellence who tries to do real top level advice and who made me eager and keen to learn, to be inspired. MDRT is responsible for that.
Sure.
And then it becomes a flame that burns inside you. And you just keep going back. It's a wonderful organization.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I think that for me, who's been with MDRT for 5 years, and this is my 6th year, I think I'm still have a lot to learn and to experience. But thanks for sharing that.
Have you been to many annual meetings, Kevin?
Yeah, I've been to the one in Vancouver, then Los Angeles in 2018. Then in 2019, I went to Sydney for the global conference and went with my wife. So the first time we were in Sydney and Australia, and we really enjoyed the time. For her, is the sightseeing, but also shopping. For me, the conference, but the sightseeing. Yeah, so it was wonderful. Oh, and really last year, because of COVID, and this year I attended the virtual meeting 3-4 months back. The annual meeting was, I must say, was the top quality speakers and was well organized, and I was very impressed.
I have spoken, Kevin. I've spoken at the meeting, at the TOT meeting, and done a little bit at the, I've done an afternoon session at the $1 Million Roundtable quite a few times. And that in itself is also a real honor and a privilege.
Yes.
So that's for you in future years. Because they always include their members.
As you focus on the retired people market, what's the one advice you would like to share with the retirees that may be watching this program? What's the one advice you would like to share with them?
Generally, retirees often walk through the door and say, I want to retire and go to the sea. Or I want to retire and downgrade my house. Okay. The reality is retirees want to be retired nearby their children. And that's the truth. You need to be retired by your children. You downgrade your house to a tiny little house, and then your children have grandchildren, and you need to upgrade your house all over again. So don't be so fast in downgrading your house. And then when you retire, the very first year, if you've been hugely successful after your retirement, you're quite miserable because you have nothing to get up for in the morning. You've had this amazing career, and now suddenly there's nothing. But by the end of the first year, you're as happy as a lark retired. And I always tell that to people because they do find a big hole once they've had an enormously busy life and it stops. But within a year, you're happy to be retired.
Yeah. I think it's retirement means different things for different people. Like myself, I would probably want to carry on working. Like my role model is like Warren Buffett, work until 90 if you can to keep yourself occupied and still productive. So Tracy, I'd like to ask you some quick fire questions. The first one is, are you a cat or dog person?
Oh, I have both.
Yeah.
I have both. There are 6 dogs at my house and 3 cats at my office. So
Yeah.
both.
All right. Next one is what's your favorite drink?
Probably orange juice or rooibos tea. And if you're talking alcohol, which I don't have much of at all, a pink gin and tonic.
Okay. And then lastly, that what's something new happening in your life right now?
There's always stuff happening in our lives because we have a hugely busy life. We have 6 farms with limousine stud cattle. We go to shows. I've just renovated my beautiful home here. It's taken me 18 months. I'm still not finished.
Yeah.
Daughter is just finishing off her matric and going into her first year of university.
Yeah.
There's massive things always happening, and it's really exciting. And I'm bringing on right now a new employee to do her RE exams, to be a broker with me and teach her over the period to help me, in addition to my son who will come in a year or two's time. So things are always changing, but they're always good.
I'm admired that you are so positive and lots of exciting things happening, keep you moving forward and busy all the time. Tracey, thanks very much for your time today and for sharing your life story, your insights. Until next time, bye.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like this episode and share it with your friends.